Welcome back to Kinnelon High School in Kinnelon, New Jersey at the Spiro Sports Center in the lacrosse field here for Pope John Lions Boys Lacrosse. Mike Formasano here calling today's game on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, Kinnelon jumped out to a 5-4 lead at the end of one quarter, but Pope John roared back, scoring 7 times and not letting up any goals in the second, as they now lead 11-5. We're at halftime, and Pope John preparing for second half action. Right after this game, please stay with us as we will have the JV game for you. Pope John JV against Kinnelon's JV Lacrosse. Tomorrow on the channel, on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube, we will be at Del Barton Academy in Morristown for Pope John Lions Boys Baseball. The Pope John Lions and the Del Barton Green Wave in the back end of a home-and-home, as Del Barton won the opener on Monday, 14-1. Jack Portman with an inside-the-park home run for the Lions. That, unfortunately, was the only run scored for them. So they are looking to get some payback tomorrow against Del Barton. Also, to let you know, the softball team has their 100 in Warren Sussex final tomorrow at the Phillipsburg Athletic Complex in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. That's at 4 p.m. If you want to watch that game, it'll be filmed exclusively or streamed exclusively on BigStateSports.com. So tune over there if you want to watch the softball game. And again, we covered the semifinal at Pope John High School this past Saturday. What an unbelievable comeback by the softball team. Down 6-2 to North Hunterdon with only 4 outs to go. And Pope John continued to cut into the lead in the bottom of the 7th, down to their last strike. Abby Davis with a base hit to make it 6-5. And then Grace Verua with a 2-1 count hits it over the left center field fence for a game-winning 2-run walk-off home run to propel the Lions into the finals. So congratulations to them. They will take on Hunterdon Central tomorrow, 4 p.m. And again, if you want to watch that game, it'll be streamed exclusively on BigStateSports.com. We will have for you baseball tomorrow, as we said. And then on Thursday, we'll be at Phillipsburg for Pope John Girls Lacrosse. The girls lacrosse team taking on Phillipsburg on Thursday at 6 p.m. Then Saturday, back to the baseball diamond at Pope John High School for Pope John Baseball against Mount Olive. We'll give you next week's schedule in just a little bit. Here are the Lions and the Kinnelon Colts for second half action. Lions, Mikey Ramirez winning the draw, as Pope John now going right to left on your screen in their white jerseys with gold trim, blue shorts, and the golden domes, the golden helmets. Here's a pass up to Anthony Schnabel. Schnabel trying to scoop it up. It's towards the sideline. Goes out of bounds. Kinnelon in their green jerseys with white numbers and white helmets. They're going left to right. The rain has picked up a little bit here. It's not as bad as it was in the first quarter. It was almost a downpour. But lacrosse teams are going to play through it no matter what. So here's the pass over from number 5 to Pat Diskwitz. And Diskwitz will run it up the far sideline. Right in front of the midfield line. He passes over to 23. Pass down low. Blocked by Muggy Bars. And the shot by Goldstein goes wide left. Pass O'Leary's cage and out of bounds. Pope John's closest, Andrew Sanchez, number 1, will scoop it up. 11-11, Cornet. In the third quarter, it is 11-5, Pope John over Kinnelon. Here is Canetta racing after the ball that's loose right near the sideline, along with number 5 for Kinnelon. The Lions 14-1 on the season. Newly crowned 100 in Warren Sussex champions for the third time in 5 years. Their third overall title in the HWS. Defeating Voorhees on Saturday, 13-4. They're 5-0 in the Waterman division, taking on a division opponent in Kinnelon, who is 9-5 overall, and 2-3 in the Waterman. It's a big game in the division, as Pope John needs to win and continue holding their first place lead. Scotch Plains Fanwood at 4-1. Their only defeat to Pope John. Kinnelon has it. Pass over to Papadik. Oh, he takes a shot by Canetta. Holds on to the ball. Canetta over him, knocks him down. He still has it. Loses his stick. It's on the turf, and now they will call a turnover against Papadik. Pope John ball. Here's Sanchez. He's a hit from Goldstein. It's getting chippy here. Comes in on Diskowitz, and it's going to be scooped up by number 14 for Kinnelon. 10 minutes even to go in the third quarter. The Lions holding an 11-5 lead. They trailed after the first, 5-4. Kinnelon's offense was wide awake. And, you know, they scored 5 goals in the first quarter against the Pope John defense, which not a lot of teams have done this year. But Pope John turned it on in the second quarter, and they outscored Kinnelon 7-0. So it's 11-5 here with 9.5 to go in the third. Here's Matt Goldstein with it on the right side. Monkey Bars swiping away, trying to knock it loose. Pass over to Correa. Peter Correa on the left wing. Now to Luke Batesel. Correa on the left. Heller coming after him. Batesel with it. Waiting for a substitution to come in. That is, I believe, number 1, Andrew Corrado. Low to Goldstein. Pass down low. Number 19 with it, the shot. And it goes wide. I think O'Leary got a piece of it. Ball's on the turf. Pope John and Kinnelon fighting for it. It'll remain Kinnelon ball. Number 19, Joey Batesel, trying to take that shot on O'Leary. He either missed or O'Leary got a piece of it and knocked it in front of the crease. We're down to 8.5 to go, third quarter. Pass to Corrado, bounces out of his cross, scoops it back up. Matthew Sled, no, that's Muggy Bars. I thought it was number 8, but it is Muggy Bars. So now, that's Matthew Sledge, number 8. I knew I saw him on the field, I just didn't know where. He was in the right corner, not on top. There is Galucci, steals it away. And Galucci racing up the field and takes a swipe from Goldstein and a cross check from Corrado. He's still got the ball. Galucci down to Perillo. Now to Ramirez. Over to Pillock. It bounces off his cross, goes out of bounds. Kinnelon will take over. 7:52 to go, third quarter. 11-5, Pope John over Kinnelon. We're at the Spiro Sports Center at Kinnelon High School. Thanks for joining us here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. The Lions 14-1 this season. Only lost to Chatham 16-3 on a rain-soaked and snow-soaked Saturday morning, late April. Not one loss, obviously, has kept Pope John either out of the top 20 or they just broke through to 19 and now 18 this week on NJ.com. So, but that loss has held significant weight, I would assume. I guarantee you if they were undefeated, they would not be in 18 or 19. But Pope John, they will do what they need to do. They won their Huntington Warren Sussex title. They're going to perform very well at the end of the season, and I'm sure they'll be ready for the state tournament. So that really is all that matters. Batesel with it, Joey Batesel, number 19. I mean, I talk about polls and everything, and we want them to be higher in the polls, and I say that for all the different teams, but really at the end of the day, the polls don't matter. What matters is how the teams perform in the field and how they do in the county tournaments and then later in the state. And that's it. That's really how you judge it. You know, I guarantee you they don't care if they're number 18 if they win a state championship. 6:20 to go, third quarter. Batesel will hold on to it. Kinnelon taking their time, down by 6. I'm surprised they are not showing a little more urgency to get the ball towards the net, figuring they have time here. Which, you know, listen, they scored 5 goals in the first quarter. They could probably do that again if they get through the Pope John defense. And there's a shot by Papendick, and he scores. So they take their time to set it up and to get a good shot off, and they score. Their first goal since the first quarter. What do I know? 5:58 to go. I'm saying, there's no urgency there and everything. And meanwhile, they score. 11-6, Pope John over Kinnelon. Papendick with the goal with 5:58 to go in the third quarter. Johnny Papendick. So now Ramirez will take the draw against Andrew Corrado.
Come on, Randy!
Here it is. Corrado diving for it. It goes loose. It's going to be Pope John ball. No, it'll be Kinnelon, exactly. Oh, Papadik with it again. Mikey Ramirez on him. Papadik on the near sideline. Drops down below the goal line. Andrew Sanchez on him. It's number 2 with it. And that is Ryan Kamano. Out of bounds, Kinnelon ball. Last touch by Pope John. 5.5 remaining in the third quarter. 11-6 now. Pope John leads Kinnelon. Colts scoring their first goal in the second half. And actually, Pope John has not scored yet in the third quarter. Pass to Papadik. Over to number 19, Joey Batesel. Pass down low to Correa. Wide left. Goes out of bounds. Kinnelon's closest. Pope John with 2 more games on the schedule. Next Wednesday, they'll have their home finale in the regular season against Morris Knowles. And then on Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, they will take on Westfield. We should be with you for both those games. And then any of the early games in the state tournament. Ball goes out of bounds. And as the games go over to different networks, and they're picked up there, we'll let you know where to find them. Kamano with the pass out to Goldstein. Goldstein up top. Pass to Papadik. Takes a shot as the stick is knocked out of his hands by Sam Canetta. Goes out of bounds, and Kinnelon will keep it. Yeah, next week on the channel, I think we've got one of each, basically. I mean, every sport, I think we've got at least one game. We've got softball on Monday the 19th. That is senior night. All the other teams have had senior night. Softball is not yet. They will take on Lenape Valley for that on May 19th. On Tuesday, Pope John baseball versus Roxbury. Shot by Goldstein goes wide left. O'Leary may have gotten his foot on that. We'll be with the Lacrosse team on Wednesday as they will take on, this is next Wednesday, Morris Knowles. And then Thursday at home at Pope John, the girls lacrosse team will take on Immaculata. And then Pope John lacrosse on Saturday, Memorial Day weekend against Westfield. After that, the schedule's open. We hit Memorial Day, and I think all the regular seasons are over, and we start paying attention to the state tournaments. Here's Batesel. And then once the spring ends, don't go anywhere. We'll have different things throughout the summer on the channel. I think we got a couple of football scrimmages, one in June. We're going to bring that to you. We'll bring all of the training camp activities for football and for boys and girls soccer to you in the fall. That starts up in early August, so don't wait until you come back to school and turn on the channel again. Turn it on in August. And we will have plenty of coverage for you before school even starts for the 2025-26 season and school year. We'll have for you varsity football this year, along with JV and freshman football. We include some junior Lions football, and then boys and girls varsity soccer. And if we have time for anything else, we'll add that too. Shot, score! Number 19, Joey Batesel with the bounce shot past Daniel O'Leary. And with 3:05 remaining in quarter number 3, it is now 11-7 Pope John. So Kinnelon scoring a pair of goals here in the third quarter to basically get back into this game. Kinnelon was leading after one quarter, 5-4, and then Pope John, an offensive explosion in the second, scoring 7 goals and giving up none. Took an 11-5 lead into halftime, but it's been Kinnelon scoring a pair of goals here in the third quarter, making this game closer as we approach the fourth quarter. Here's a face-off won by Ramirez, another face-off win. Incredible what he's able to do. Pass to Heller, bounces out of his cross, goes out of bounds. So now here is number 5 for Kinnelon. Pass up, it's on the turf. There's Corrado. Takes a swipe. And a timeout called. Kinnelon wants to talk things over. We'll take time as well. 2:48 to go, third quarter. It's Pope John 11, Kinnelon 7. We'll be back right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. We're at the Spiro Sports Center, Kinnelon High School in Kinnelon, New Jersey, for Pope John Lions boys lacrosse. Mike Formasano along with you, calling today's game. Thank you so much for joining us here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. There's one more thing I was mentioning about the upcoming fall schedule starting in August. We've got a couple of football scrimmages. The football schedule has come out, at least for varsity, and took a look and saw out of the 9-game schedule that the Lions have, 6 of them are at home this season. So plenty of opportunities for you to get out to the games, and we'll have those games for you as we are going to be covering most, if not all, of the Pope John football games on all of the levels next year. So we're very excited to be working with Coach Tom Gaston and Athletic Director Brian McAleer and the Pope John administration to get that out to you here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. It's your channel, and we're just here to provide it to you so you can watch the games. The season starts August 30th for the varsity, home against DePaul Catholic, a rematch of last year's state final. The first road game is on September 7th. It's the only Friday night game, and it's at Paramus Catholic against the Paladins. That's a rematch of the second round matchup that Pope John upset Paramus Catholic in the playoffs, 14-10. So, then Kellenberg from Long Island comes in. Only 2 other road games after that. So 6 home, 3 on the road. Here's Brody Pillock down low for Pope John. Well, plenty of time to cover all the football, as we will be concentrating a lot on that in August. But we'll be adding some soccer to the channel as well. Excited about that, boys and girls soccer. Here is Travis Heller. What a year for Heller. It's 62 goals coming into today's game. I don't remember how many he has now. He's got 4 or 5, maybe 6 today. Ramirez bounces out of his cross. He picks it back up. Ramirez over to Canetta. 11-7. Pope John leads by 4 here, late third quarter. Minute 30 to go. Canetta down to Perillo. The shot by Heller. Score! Travis Heller into the back of the net. The bottom right corner beats Diskowitz. And with a minute 24 remaining, it is 12-7. Travis Heller with that golden touch again. Scores another goal to make it 12-7 with a minute 24 to go on the clock in the third quarter. 12-7, Pope John over Kinnelon.
Let's go, Tyler!
So now Mikey Ramirez taking the draw against Andrew Corrado again. Canetta and Galucci in the midfield with him. Travel. And it goes over to Pope John. Here's Ramirez over to Canetta. We posted on the channel a picture of the 101 Sussex Championship trophy. It was sitting on the hood of Coach Delafera's car. Here's a shot. Score by Sam Canetta. Oh, Canetta buries that shot into the back of the net. Down low, beats Diskowitz. And Pope John scores 2 goals in the span of 19 seconds. Ramirez's goal came with, a minute 28 to go? Canetta's comes with a minute 9. No, not Ramirez, it was Heller. Heller scores minute 28. Canetta with a minute 9. And assisted by Ramirez. Pope John up 13-7. So just when Kinnelon thought they were getting back into the game, Pope John opens it back up again. Incredible. Here's Ramirez. Pass over to Andrew Sanchez. Well, anyway, as I was saying, the 101 Sussex trophy was on top of Delafera's car. head coach Joe Delaferra. And then I got a picture of the silver plate for the MVP award, both by itself and then being held by its recipient, Mikey Ramirez. Won 21 of 23 faceoffs in that final. Shot by Perillo, wide right, goes out of bounds. So that was great to see the team come off the bus. I was back at the school covering the softball game we had just finished as the softball team won in the bottom of the seventh on a walk-off by Grace Ferrua, the freshman catcher, 7-6 over the North Hunterdon. That game's on the channel if you want to watch it. It was an incredible game. Shot! Score! Jack Galucci just inside the left post, about 6 inches off the ground. And he beats Pat Diskowitz with 23 seconds remaining. Pope John, after Kinnelon had crawled back to 4 behind, has now opened up a 7-goal lead. 14-7. What a shot by Galucci. As I was saying, as Ramirez and Corrado take this draw, it's won by Ramirez. Well, it's on the turf, and he gets knocked over by Corrado, and he gets called for the infraction there. So Pope John will start it up. I saw the team come off the bus, and they were so happy. They had trophies, everybody coming off the bus, and they knew it was not the final step, just the first step. Shot! Score! Galucci taking the pass right in front of the crease. Hunter Perillo finding Galucci right in front of Diskowitz, and Galucci getting a quick release and putting it into the back of the net with 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Jack Galucci, another goal, and it makes the score 15-7 Pope John. So now number 41 out for Kinnelon to take the face-off against Mikey Ramirez. It's won by Ramirez. Racing up the field, the shot. Diskowitz with the save at the buzzer. I don't know if it would have counted, but nice attempt by Ramirez to get the shot off. So Kinnelon had cut the game to 11-7, a 4-goal lead for Pope John. But then the Lions tack on 4 more of their own at the end of the third quarter. And we are through 3 here at Spiro Sports Center, Kinnelon High School. It's Pope John 15, Kinnelon 7. We'll be back for fourth quarter action right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube.
I'm still getting brownie.
Welcome back to the Spiro Sports Center at Kinnelon High School in Kinnelon, New Jersey. For Pope John Lions Boys Lacrosse, Mike Formasano here, calling today's game. Thank you so much for joining us. The Pope John Lions lead the Kinnelon Colts by a score of 15-7. Please stay with us after this game as we will carry the Pope John Lions JV game against Kinnelon JV right after this here from Kinnelon High School on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Face-off at center field between Mikey Ramirez and number 23 for Kinnelon, and that is Ben Klingler. The Lions now going left to right on your screen in their white jerseys, blue shorts, and the golden domes, the golden helmets. Kinnelon in their green jerseys, white trim, and white helmets. They're going right to left. Ramirez wins the draw again, past to Galucci, who's errant, and picked up by number 11 for Kinnelon. Here's Klingler, number 23. Klingler racing into the center of the field. The pass down low to Correa. Now to number 2. Down low, the shot, score. Number 20, Matt Goldstein with a quick goal past Daniel O'Leary. Makes the score 15-8. 17 seconds into quarter number 4. And Kinnelon not done yet as they score their 8th goal to make it 15-8 Pope John. You can see how quickly teams can score in lacrosse. Pope John scored 8 goals in the last 10 minutes of their 101 Sussex final against Voorhees. So, a 7-goal lead is not enough. Here's Ramirez, wins the draw against Klingler. Pass back to Andrew Sanchez. Sanchez with the long pole. Racing up the near sideline, past Correa. Correa swings him around. The ball goes back into Pope John territory. Here's Schnabel. Schnabel with the pass. We get a whistle. And I think head coach Joe Delaferra wants time. 11:24 to go, 4th quarter. Pope John takes timeout, so do we. 15-8, the Lions lead over the Kinnelon Colts. We'll be back right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Kinnelon High School in North New Jersey for Pope John Lions Lacrosse. Mike Formasano here, calling today's game. It's still raining here at Kinnelon High School. It's not as hard as it was in the beginning of the game where it was almost a downpour, but a light rain nonetheless. The lights are turned on here at the Spiro Sports Center. The Pope John Lions leading the Kinnelon Colts by a score of 15-8. Right after this game, we'll have the JV contest between Pope John and Kinnelon. And then tomorrow here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube, boys baseball, as the Pope John Lions baseball team will take on the Del Barton Green Wave from Del Barton Academy in Morristown. It's the back end of a home-and-home. Del Barton won yesterday 14-1. But Pope John getting an inside the park home run from Jack Portman. And we'll see if the Lions can turn things around. You're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. Massonia pitched so well in the 101 Sussex. And Del Barton got to him yesterday, and it happens. But Gigante pitched great in relief for a few innings. And, we'll see who Pope John throws out there tomorrow and who Del Barton puts on the mound. And, baseball, what was the saying in Bull Durham? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes it rains. Kinnelon with the ball. It's raining here, but lacrosse does not stop for rain. Lacrosse wouldn't stop for snow. They think lightning is the only thing they stop for. Just like football. Here is Hunter Perillo. Perillo racing up the right side. Pass down low. The shot. Saved by Diskowitz. Oh, nice save off the shot by Mikey Ramirez. And here's number 5. And Pope John coming back with a vengeance to get that ball, and Perillo swipes it clean. Here's Ramirez. Pass into Heller. Heller on the left wing. Travis Heller. And we have a whistle. Travel against Pope John, and it will go over to Kinnelon. 10:18 to go in quarter number 4. Pope John with a 15-8 lead on the Kinnelon Colts. Here's number 9 racing up the field for Kinnelon. Perillo takes a swipe. Now to Papendick. Johnny Papendick has a couple of goals today for Kinnelon. Colts 9-5 on the season. 2-3 in the Waterman division. Got some good wins. Got off to a good start today against Pope John. They were leading 5-4 after quarter number 1. Pass down low to 19 to Batesel. Stolen away by Muggy Bars. Bars with the underhanded pass to Jack Colucci. Galucci with a couple of goals today. Here's Heller. Heller to Ramirez. Pillock, he scores! What passing by the Pope John offense. And Pillock buries it into the top right corner. Brody Pillock, the freshman, makes it 16-8. Pope John over Kinnelon with 9:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. It was incredible passing by Galucci to Ramirez and Heller, all the way down, Perillo, I think, all the way down to Brody Pillock. And Pillock right in front of the crease, and he's able to beat Diskowitz in the top right corner. 16-8, Pope John over Kinnelon. Ramirez with another face-off win. Pass to Heller. Here is Travis Heller. Klingler on him. Heller takes it down below the goal. Pass over to Canetta. Canetta on the left wing. Sam Canetta will back up. He's got number 9 on him. Pass low. Galucci, score! Jack Galucci. And we got a flag that comes down after the goal. I believe it's going to count. We'll wait and see. The goal goes on the board. Jack Galucci, what a shot with 8:39 remaining. And that gives Pope John a 17-8 lead. Well, now the referee's discussing the flag on the field, and we'll wait and see what accounts to that. Well, they're going to center field for the faceoff, so I believe count the goal for Galucci. That's at least his third, and maybe his fourth. He's definitely got a hat trick, I think. I mean, once you get to 17 goals, you don't remember who scored everything. I mean, I don't have a score sheet here. I'm not sitting down at a table, so. One of these days, we'll have a statistician with us. 17-8, Pope John leads. Ramirez with another face-off win. And there's Jack Galucci again. Galucci to Canetta. Get excited to see what this Pope John Lions team can do when we get to the state tournament. They proved themselves in the 100 in Warren, Sussex. Can they do it in the States? We'll find out soon enough. We'll start in a couple of weeks. Amazing how short these seasons are. You get started, get into it, and it's over. Here's a shot by Heller, goes wide left. Felt like that with hockey. We were covering the hockey on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. The hockey started at the beginning of December, and then basketball started a couple weeks later. You hit Christmas, Valentine's Day. Before you know it, season's over. I think the regular season for hockey was done January 31st. Here's Galucci on the right wing. Pass to Ramirez. Now Canetta. Into Heller. Hesitation and scores. He beats Diskowitz as he dekes him in midair. What a play by Travis Heller. And the Pope John Lions go up 18-8. 7:43 remaining. Pope John up by double digits, 18-8. Well, the beauty of that goal by Heller was that it looked like he stopped midair. Now, he didn't do that, but the optical illusion that I had was that he looked like he'd stopped midair, deked Diskowitz, and then put it down low. Travel on the face-off by Corrado, and so here's Ramirez. Please stay with us after this game as we'll have the JV contest. Pope John and Kinnelon JV go at it right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Here's Pillock over to Galucci. Yeah, we've always had the varsity game and then the JV right after, except one time this year. And that was for senior night for Randolph. We were at Randolph High School, and they had the JV game first, and then they had senior night, and then they had the varsity. We played under the lights. Shot by Galucci, score! Another goal by Jack Galucci. With 7:07 to go, it's now 19-8. See, Pope John hits 20. They've got plenty of time to do so. 19-8, Pope John over Kinnelon. Jack Lucci with another goal. Incredible performances by this Pope John offense. And any of them can score. Pillock, Galucci, Canetta, Heller, obviously. Ramirez scores. Peyton Fox when he was in there. Hunter Perillo. All offensive weapons. And then a solid defense. And Andrew Sanchez and Muggy Bars and Anthony Schnabel. And sometimes Matthew Sledge and Matthew Riley coming in. And then you got the goalkeeper, Daniel O'Leary, a senior, has played brilliantly in net. Big saves at big times. Going to be hard-pressed for me to say this team doesn't have it all. Here's Pillock. And then the JV team behind him. There's a lot of talent in this JV team that are going to come up. And so it's a bright program. Pillock, the pass to Perillo, just out of his reach, out of bounds. Not trying to inflate anybody's ego here and go ahead and build up the Pope John program for more than what it is, but really, they've got some bright days ahead of them. Now, the other side of the ball, Kinnelon really showed up well here in different parts of this game. The first quarter, Colts looked like they were going to go step for step with Pope John, and in fact, took a 5-4 lead after the first quarter. So that was great to see. To be able to see Kinnelon really respond to an elite team. And yeah, Pope John is an elite team. And Kinnelon taking the lead after the first quarter. And then they come back to cut it to 11-7 in the third. So a lot of talent in this Kinnelon team. Here's Ramirez over to Canetta. That's what you want on any of these competitions. You want a good competitive game. Here is Perillo being checked behind the net by the Kinnelon defense. Over to Pillock. 5:35 to go. Galucci to Ramirez. Now to Canetta. Ramirez up top. Looks to break in on Corrado. Now Canetta down low to Perillo. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Kinnelon ball. 5:13 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 19-8, Pope John over Kinnelon. Lions with 2 more games on the regular season schedule. The home finale against Morris Knowles next Wednesday. Thinking back to when they had the home opener against Immaculata. It was a double overtime win for Pope John. And then the final regular season game next Saturday on the road against Westfield. And then the state tournament. So tomorrow, baseball on the channel. Girls lacrosse on Thursday. We'll be at Phillipsburg. And again, tomorrow, if you want to watch the softball game, the Hunterdon Warren Sussex final for softball against Hunterdon Central, whom they played earlier this season. They lost 3-0. That game's going to be carried exclusively on BigStateSports.com. So you can go there and watch that. Or you can watch the baseball game with us here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube, as Pope John will take on Del Barton. Girls lacrosse on Thursday at Phillipsburg, and then Saturday, baseball, home to Mount Olive. Weather permitting for all this, of course. There's supposed to be rain tomorrow and into the weekend. Friday's supposed to be nice. Here's a shot by Pappa that goes out of bounds. Thank you. Thank you. Weather's starting to make me sneeze a little bit. Here's Papadick. Pass over to Batesel on the left wing. Now over to Goldstein. Goldstein setting up for a shot. Correa looking to break in. The pass to Papadick. It's out of his reach. Goes out of bounds. Pope John ball. Well, I mentioned Friday as far as the weather being nice, because there's nothing on the channel and we're not going to be able to broadcast. Friday is for a lot of the Pope John students and some other students who are not part of Pope John. They're receiving their confirmations on Friday. I believe over 90 students are receiving confirmation, including 2 of my sons, Michael and Charlie. So congratulations to Michael and Charlie on their confirmations on Friday. along with everyone else who is going to receive that. So we will not be with you on Friday. We'll pick up coverage again on Saturday. 2:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Pass to Galucci. Look to rip it. He'll hold back on it. Rain's starting to pick up again. Here's Ramirez. Pope John look for their 20th goal. Ramirez down low. Pass Kinetic. Galucci's going to go back for it. Now Pillock. Pillock fires. Score! Brody Pillock into the back of the net. Down low. Beats Diskowitz. And that is Pope John's 20th goal of the game. With 2:18 to go, it's the Pope John Lions 20. Kinnelon 8. Nice shot by Brody Pillock. It puts the proverbial icing on the cake. Lions will advance to 15-1 this season. 6-0 in the Waterman Division. Kinnelon making a goaltending change. Diskowitz out. And then number 42 coming in for Kinnelon. Let's see if we get a name for you. Thomas Costco. Costco, the senior, coming in net. Now here's a face-off. Ball's loose on the turf. Picked up by number 23. Pass to Correa, number 24. Correa passes it back to Papadick. Johnny Papadick has a couple of goals today. Now Goldstein. Over to Correa. Being defended by Ramirez. Correa passes it out to Batesel. Minute to go. 1 minute remaining. Correa coming in on Ramirez. The shot. O'Leary with the save. Nice save. As he got his cross in front of that. Goldstein with it now on the right wing. 42 seconds to go. Barrs defending. Here's the shot. Goes wide left. Out of bounds. Kinnelon's closest. The pass in to Peter Correa. Correa. Over to Papadick. Shot by Goldstein. Wide left. Out of bounds. Kinnelon will get one more opportunity. 10 seconds to go. Pass in. Correa. To Batesel. Luke Batesel with it. Over to Papadick. And there's the buzzer as the shot comes in. Underneath Daniel O'Leary. The pride has spoken. The Pope John Lions defeat the Kinnelon Colts. Final score, Pope John 20 and Kinnelon 8. Well, nice performance by Pope John coming off their 101 Sussex tournament victory. Started off a little bit slow as Kinnelon took a 5-4 lead after one quarter. But then Pope John opened things up with 7 straight and no goals allowed in the second to open up an 11-5 lead. Kinnelon scored a pair of goals to make it 11-7. But that was as close as the Colts would get as Pope John wins going away 20-8. With the win, Pope John advances to 15-1 overall on the season and 6-0 in the Waterman Division. Kinnelon drops to 9-6, 2-4 in the Waterman. Up next for Pope John, they'll get an 8-day break and then take on Morris Knowles for the home finale next Wednesday at 4 p.m. from Pope John High School. We'll be with you for that on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Please stay with us after this as we will cover the Pope John Lions JV game with you against the Kinnelon JV. Pope John JV and Kinnelon JV right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. So for everyone here at the Spiro Sports Center at Kinnelon High School, this is Mike Formisano saying thank you very much for joining us. Final score once again, the Pope John Lions 20, the Kinnelon Colts 8. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see you for more lacrosse next Wednesday from Pope John High School and for the JV game in just a few minutes on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Have a good afternoon.